Let's go. 44 dive. We rollin'. 228.25's edition of SmackDown. This is your amplified review. BC's got you covered, so grab your bevies, your coffees. Sit back, max, relax while BC drops them facts. Because we're going to talk all things SmackDown. Tonight is the Elimination Chamber. Did this show do enough to promote it adequately, to get you hyped up for it, to ignite the spark that we've been waiting for WrestleMania? Or are they waiting for tonight to do such? We'll talk all about it, man. The line of the night, the best part of the night last night was CM Punk and what he said to Rollins, because he did that dude dirty, possibly filthy. Oh, man. All the talk going into SmackDown was President Trump and the jab that he took at another world leader that was coming into the White House. They were supposed to have this meeting. So this other president from another country, he gets out of the limo and Trump's standing there with his nice suit, his expensive tie. And this other world leader, this other president gets out to meet him, and he's dressed like a high school soccer coach. It was fun, like a tracksuit. And Trump made a joke. Oh, it's good to see you dressed for the occasion. So a lot of the press took it like it was very mean. It was bullying. That was rude. That's not how you want to start the relationship for the day. I thought it was a fun way to kind of break the ice. I thought, right? It was good to see you dressed for the occasion. Everybody seemed to have a good laugh. But everybody thought that was very rude. I don't know. On one hand, I kind of respect that. I do my best work right out of the gym. So it looked like the dude just got out of the gym and said, you know what? Why bother changing? Let's just go do this meeting. Problem is, you're not just meeting to be like the manager of Starbucks. I mean, this was the White House. It is what it is. I don't know. But Trump threw that little jab about the dress. The dress code of this dude. Well, if you thought that was mean, right, there's a point to all of this, right? It all comes full circle. If you thought that was all the bee's knees, that was the talk going into SmackDown in much of the world. If you thought that was mean, Seth Rollins stood in the middle of the ring last night, and he was dressed like a Red Lobster. Like the pants. I couldn't help but think two things, and one of them was like the claw of a lobster. Right? If you flip the lobster upside down, it's like, that's what and the other thing was exactly what Punk called him, because CM Punk literally did this dude dirty, possibly filthy last night. When he called him an oven mitt. He said, you're in there looking like oven mitts. And I couldn't help but think that originally as well. I was thinking pot holders, like oven mitts. And I want my team to do a side-by-side and post-edit and make sure that gets done. I want a side-by-side because I'm pretty sure it's the same color, the same texture, possibly the same fabric. But it looked, I thought oven mitts, like you're going to get a DiGiorno pizza out of the oven. And Seth Rollins is wearing the oven mitts. It was those two things. It was a Red Lobster, like the lobster claws, the pants, and it was oven mitts. And Punk actually called it. I couldn't. Now I said that to myself, but to say that on national TV, man, Punk did that dude dirty. Seth couldn't help but kind of like grin a little bit, like, there's no coming back from that one. It was brutal. Oh man. The Trump jab at this other world leader, that was an appetizer. Punk delivered the main event, man. He called this dude oven mitts. He said, you in there looking like a pair of oven mitts. Oh, he did not. Yes, he did. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that whole promo. Everybody just out there, and Helmsley just didn't have a finish to it. He's like, all right, you're all going to go out there. You're all going to say stuff. And when they're all out there, somebody probably turned the Helmsley, probably Road Dogg, and said, sir, we're going to have to wrap this up. Do we have a finish to this promo? And Helmsley was like, no, I thought you did. And Road Dogg's like, no, I thought you did. And then they turned to maybe Michael P.S. Hayes, and maybe Brewster Pritchard, maybe no, Charlie Flair's probably helping to run shit back there. It's so unorganized. And everyone's like, all right, have somebody tell Punk to just chase Logan away. So Punk chases Logan awkwardly. The crowd's like, what's going on now? And then everyone's turning to Hunter, and Hunter's like, that's all I had, man. Chase Logan. Go to commercial. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the absolutely circus sideshow that was the tag team division. I told you guys this was going to happen. They're setting up for a multi-team schmaz at Mania like they do for most pay-per-views. Oh, no, I take that back. Tag team division can't even get pay-per-views anymore, premium live event matchups. But when they are, it's usually a multi-man schmaz. They never put any energy into the tag team division. To have really prestigious champions and actual number one contenders, not 4 teams or 3 teams that are all calling themselves number one contenders. But this is what we always do because it's lazy. It's easy. And if you saw that segment last night, I felt so bad for the entire division, guys. To watch them, and if you guys go back and watch and listen the crowd reaction when they're all fighting. When it was all after 5 minutes, they couldn't even get a let them fight chant. I think like 100 people tried to start it up. Everybody else was sitting down having side conversations. Nobody cared about all these teams brawling. That was one of the saddest things I've seen for the tag division. We're going to talk about it in this amplified review. Man, Alexa Bliss ignited something with Roxy. I hope to see a lot more of that. That was wild. A huge W, even though it's just a 6-man schmaz, I get it. But for Roxy, I mean, and the way she hit that pop rocks. Whoo. And the way that Sister Abigail was delivered. That's right, you haven't heard that in a while. Alexa, Roxy, are you kidding me? That's a wallet out, pick your card situation. We're going to talk all about it. And The Rock continues to shower Cody Rhodes with a lot of nice, expensive bling. And it was like a whole shrimp cocktail bar. A buffet? It was like a buffet. R-Truth crashed it. And Cody was like, all right, dude, just take the buffet. But he delivered an entire bar, open bar buffet. Then he brought out a pickup truck detailed to the American Nightmare to Cody Rhodes and all his logos. A pickup truck. And Cody is still... Rock is probably pissed, like, I'm giving you everything. It's like the dude that really needs to pay rent, but they don't have enough money, so they hawk everything at the pawn shop, right? Right, The Rock is the guy showing up that needs to pay his rent, and he's giving the pawn shop owner everything he owns, and the pawn shop owner is like, I can give you $20. And The Rock is like, dude, I got 6 TVs, 2 computers, I'm giving you my furniture, the sofa, my last chair. What do you want, man? Just give me $250. I'll give you $25. He's trying to give everything, and the pawn shop owner is just like, Rock is giving Cody the world, and Cody's like, I'm their champion. Talk all about it, man. It's all coming up in today's review as we set the table for Elimination Chamber 2025. Not sure what I'm doing tonight. I really don't. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do a live stream. I don't know. Will I be able to cut a review and maybe put one out tonight? Maybe I'll do members only, and then maybe over the weekend I will open it up to everybody to view. But I want to definitely get my channel members involved big time for the Elimination Chamber, so I don't know how exactly I'm going to do that. Or a pre-party type thing for I don't know, but I definitely want to do something, but I don't know if I can be live. But you guys are definitely going to get a huge review, man. A good, the bad, and the ugly, one way or the other. So that's what's on tap for tonight. Should we get right into it? No opening signature, guys. We're going to get right into it. There is no Folgers. I got my Starbucks. This is fresh too, man. It is a double shot, triple pump pistachio latte from the fine folks at Starbucks. I don't know what happened over here. That was not PC. You guys see that? It looks like one of the pumps they just kind of threw at the side of the cup. I have no idea. Where did one of my pumps go? That's what she said. All right, let's get going. Speaking of she, Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton started this show. Damn, Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus is like, I don't want to say 20 years older than Is she? I don't know how much older than Tiffany, but in there, I think it was Chelsea Green. We'll get to it in a minute. She made a joke saying like she's basically Tiffany's mother. But dude, you could tell me they were sisters, I would believe you. That's how gorgeous, how beautiful Tiffany for sure. Trish Stratus still is. And to see her with Tiffany in those, what were they, the hockey jerseys? Ooh, whole level of fuck yeah. Let's talk about it. No opening signature. Swig of coffee. We're going to do this. 44 die. We rollin'. SmackDown 228-25. The Amplified review with BC and the unit. And again, smash that up. It helps the algorithm, supports the channel, but it also, more than anything, allows BC to know that you are fully amplified. And if you want to take it a step further, go ahead and smash that subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Really support it. But that's only if you are amplified for pro wrestling and truly want to see it succeed and be great again. I only want, it's about quality over quantity when I think subscribers and who is a part of my amplified unit. We are a group that sets our bar and our standards higher because we know what these companies should and could be, and we know that they are nowhere near that now, unfortunately. But creatively, the booking that we're seeing, the time, the energy, the care, it's not there. And it should be. Expectations are not too high, unfortunately. Those have been deflated over the years, but we are not going to lower our bar and our standards because the companies have gotten this lazy. But if you're feeling like there's a void after every show, like it didn't feel like it was a good cliffhanger, there wasn't enough to really claim that this was must-see TV, you're not tuning in next week because you have to see the show. You're tuning in out of habit and hope. Habit, you've been doing it since you were a kid. Hoping it gets better. Habit and hope is why we tune into a lot of these shows. It shouldn't be that way. It should be must-see TV, right? Every show should be like, damn, did you see that? In 4 or 5 talking points every single show. Storylines that are capturing our imagination, man. Larger-than-life characters that are jumping off the screen. Where is that? That feeling. It's Mania season. We don't even have that. So on this channel, we do. We not only raise our bar and our standards, but we keep that bar pretty high. And it's up to the company to meet those standards, not us to lower them. So that's why we do things differently on this channel. And that's why I do put that disclaimer. I don't want just anybody joining the amplified unit and subscribing. No, there's plenty of other channels you can go and do that. And everybody will give you all the positivity and act like every single show is shitting out cupcakes with sprinkles and whipped cream. That's not this channel. Because we know these companies, these shows have to be better than what we've been getting for 10 years plus. So that's my little side rant there. Absolutely smash that subscribe if you haven't already, but only if you share that same sentiment and you truly want pro wrestling to be great and you know that we're not there right now. And no matter how brutally honest we have to be about these shows, you're willing to have those conversations. If that's you, go ahead and join. I'd love to have you. And let me give you a salute. Welcome to the channel. My veterans will make you feel right at home. A lot of my vets have been here for years. And you'll see some of those cards after their name. If you want to join membership, that's the ultimate salute to the channel. But you'll know my vets. Don't be afraid to say what's up to them. You'll see the gold card or the diamond membership card, which is more than a year. And if you're 2 years plus membership, you'll go ahead and see that golden coffee VIP card. And maybe that'll be you one day, man. Not just subscribe, but a channel member with a seat at the board of directors table. The amplified unit. Salute. All right, that's my little spiel. Do all the things down below. SmackDown 228-25. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton start this show. One of them is just like, how can a human be that beautiful? But then you see both of them together. Chelsea says Trish can be Tiffany's mother. I think she said that last night. I'm like, then that would be one of the MILFs of MILFs along with like Mickie James. I mean, if that would be a daughter-mother combo, they'd be confused as sisters if they were walking through the mall. They're both wearing the same jersey. So, I mean, they look like a legit tag team. The sisters. That's it. That's what you call them. The sisters. And let them just go in there and ass kick. So, again, as I said, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven did come out. Niven was hilarious. She was dressed as the Mountie. You guys remember the Mountie? That's their Law and Order up there. One of the best storylines in pro wrestling history. Many might call it gimmicky because of the characters. The Big Boss Man, who was a corrections guard, a corrections officer, and the Mountie, who was the Law and Order up in Canada. And they had one of the best feuds ever. It culminated in a loser goes to jail match at SummerSlam. What was that, 91 or 92? Damn, man, I always get them two mixed up. I'm going to say 92, but it could be 91. But if you guys ever want to do a deep dive on a really good feud, Mountie, Big Boss Man, textbook on just the genius of Vincent Kennedy McMahon back in the day and how he would just make something feel so special, even with mid-carders, because that's what they were back then. I mean, some people think Big Boss Man is that main eventer. I always thought he could have been and was for a short time. But that was a mid-card feud and matchup, and wow, that was to this day, one of my favorite feuds. Anyway, Piper Niven is out there like a Mountie, dressed as a Mountie. I loved it. Chelsea Green, all in her America gear, and of course, America's in a little bit of they're sparring off with Canada right now because of tariffs. I'm not going to get into that, but Canada's not happy with us, the U.S. So, of course, Green took that as an opportunity to get some heat. And she was kind of jabbing. Isn't she from Canada too? So that made it more special. Maybe she's not. I don't know. But Trish's obviously. So they were all firmly behind her and America's Tiffany. Tiffany actually says, well, I'm from America and I don't agree with what you're saying. Something like that. Tiffany tried to get Canada. That got no reaction, unfortunately. But Green is out there trashing Canada. I loved it. I loved it because I'm still a little, furious over the changing of the Americano name to the Canadiano. Canadiano? What was it called? They changed the coffee. I'm not kidding. That's how pissed off Canada is. So they changed the Americano coffee to the Canadiano? The Canadiano. That's what I think it is. And some of the shops are literally just crossing off Americano and they're just writing to the side Canadiano. It's kind of funny, actually. I'm not actually furious, but I do take my coffee seriously, clearly. So Chelsea Green is jabbing at Canada. That got a little bit of a reaction. This all just leads to a one-on-one match between Tiffany and Chelsea. Champion versus champion. So I did think, hey, man. And I don't think that Hunter was going to have them at a pay-per-view. So I was actually okay with this. I don't see Chelsea and Tiffany having a match anytime soon. Kind of a fun way to kick it off. Tiffany would win this matchup via DQ as Nia Jax and Candy LeRae interfered. The faces would end up chasing the heels off. So this is what I mean. This is the dumbest booking in the world. Nia and Candy show up, and it's a sneak attack, so you think they have the upper hand, and a minute later, they're running off, and the faces are like, whoa, that was a busted plan. It's so 50-50, nobody truly wins on this. I'll tell you who lost more than anything, Nia, because I think it was Nia, right? Where Tiffany, hoisted up Trish, and Trish had those long, suede blue boots on that are heels. They're like heel boots. And she picked her up to throw, one of those, assisted drop kicks. And Trish hit Nia, but with the heel boots. So those pokey heels that was... Thank goodness Nia has some extra loving, right? Maybe patented the cushion there. Cushion the landing of those heels. But it still must have hurt. Was it Candy that took it? If Candy took it, she's probably still feeling that. That's how we kick the show off. Again, I don't mind this because you're trying to pump up the tag match for tonight, which is Nia and Candy versus Tiffany and Trish. I get it. You're in Canada, and I don't mind this matchup. I just wish that, guys, as I just said, we're blunt, we're amplified, we're blunt because we want to see the best. So I'll go out and tell you honestly, I just wish that Hunter was more creative, and he's not. I wish he just had a creative way to really wrap this up and go, damn, that got me 36% more excited for tonight's tag match. Instead, even Canada's crowd was like, that's it? That's not good. Nick Aldis then announces a completely nonsensical mini tournament to decide the number one contender for Shinsuke's U.S. title. What do you mean, BC? How was this nonsensical? Check this out. This would have been my cold open if there wasn't so much else to talk about. So, guys, true story. The big promoted matchup for tonight was LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura, championship on the line, U.S. title. That was promoted all week. Now, as I aforementioned a little bit, I think I touched up on this, or maybe I didn't. The script was changed up several times, right up until the showtime, airtime, live. Sound familiar? Vince used to do this all the time. We used to talk all about it. Now, I'm guessing, not that I gauge it anymore, but I'm guessing the talking heads in the community are just kind of glazing right over that, right? Nobody wants to talk about that or not spend a lot of time on it. When it was Vince doing it, that's all we talked about. Oh, there's no plans and he's not set and he's changing his mind and nothing makes sense. This is the third time in 1 month that Hunter's been flipping up scripts, taking things out, rearranging, ripping them up. 3 times in 1 month, and this is right before the pay-per-view, a go-home show. And we heard, Fightful was even reporting this, but multiple sites, multiple people talking about this. Fightful's just one of them that were confirming that there was like big changes to the script. And I bring that up because this was a promoted match for a week and it just got canceled. Nobody was hurt, guys. It was LA Knight. LA Knight was just taken out of this, or a straight up way taken out of this match. And in its place was this mini tournament. 3 matches last night. The winners of each match will then go into a triple threat schmaz match in the main event to determine who Shinsuke's number one contender is. So that's what we did for the whole night. More than half the show was dedicated to this mini tournament. And I'm not even joking, guys. When it was all said and done, we'll go over it in this review one match by match. But I might as well just let you know now, if you didn't catch the show. The outcome was LA Knight won the whole thing. He won his individual match. He went on to win the triple threat. So we're getting LA Knight Shinsuke anyway. The match that was promoted for last night, but was taking off last second with no real reasoning. Not real. I mean, they gave us some half-ass thing. Nick Aldis, I think we should make this more special. You already gave LA. And then we just got to the same match anyway. This was just a way for them to fill up time. It's a 3-hour show. Hunter realized last second, I don't have anything for this show. Let's just drag out this U.S. title. Let's just make a mini tournament. And that's what we did. Maybe that would have been okay if you didn't already promote the match beforehand. And this is why I say Hunter is way in over his head on this one. He's lost. He's making decisions and then going, oh, I didn't have anything afterwards. He's not thinking for the long term. Jason Uso loses at Saturday night's main event. Then a week later, he calls everybody in hours before the Rumble, and he tells everybody that he's decided to go with Jey Uso to win the Rumble. If he had already thought that in advance, you wouldn't have gotten Jason Uso looking up at the lights to Gunther a week before. Drew McIntyre is supposed to win tonight. If that is true, then why book Drew the way you did the last 3 months? Irrelevant, off of shows, getting rolled up by people like getting rolled up the size of Drew by people like Jason Uso. And quietly moving over to SmackDown. I mean, all these decisions, and then all of a sudden you want the best possible reaction when he wins the chamber. You want people to feel this fabricated excitement. Because it would be fabricated. Like, that's the best WrestleMania match. And I'm okay with Drew and Cody. That could be a good feud if given the right amount of time and for the right reasons and ignited properly with the perfect creativity and booking behind it. But Mania's next month. And Drew gets this match just by winning the chamber. And then boom, you got 1 month to try to build this. And that's your big matchup. Jey Uso and Gunther. And then over here, Cody and Drew. You went from Cody and Roman Reigns Pick Cody and Drew McIntyre. All right. If it doesn't feel that special, it's because Hunter didn't make it feel that special. He's not thinking ahead. He's not thinking long term. If it seems like everything is being done on the fly, it is. The reports that are reputable are telling you that the shows are being ripped up last second or changed. Big changes. Matches that were promoted are being completely canceled last minute. This is Hunter's booking. That's what I mean about on this channel, we have to be honest about it. We're not just throwing people under the bus to throw them under the bus. We want better. We know that we have to hold them to higher standards than this, man. If they can't meet where our bar and our standards are, at least they have to make the attempt. But they can't just dwindle down here because they know that most fans are going to accept all the BS that they're serving at ground level. We have to force them to raise their bar. I couldn't believe when they announced this. I'm like, that's how we're going to spend most of this night then. Doing this stupid and it's most likely just going to end up to the same thing, LA and Shinsuke. Which, by the way, is just a rematch of a rematch anyway. Anyway, let's go on. Here's a thought, though. Why not just book a fun story, Helmsley? That would be my advice to Hunter Hearst. Just book a fun story, bro. You have a title, you have a champion, make a number one contender, and ignite a story. Forget the stupid tournaments. It's bad enough we have to come up with our WrestleMania opponents via not just the Rumble anymore, but now we have to wait another month after the Rumble for the Chamber to get 2 more opponents and hope that we can ignite a storyline. So anyway, I just don't understand why does everything have to involve a lazy, filler-induced bore fest of a tournament. Tournament. 3 one-on-ones and then a triple threat. The first one-on-one was Fatu pinning Andrade via moonsault pinfall. Fatu advances to the triple threat. Nothing more to say, no excitement, nothing attached to this. Fatu just beats Andrade. Remember when Andrade came back? Oh man, Hunter's going to have so many big plans now that he's back. Now we're going to see the best now that Vince is gone. Yeah, oh man, Andrade's been just blazing a trail, hasn't he been? Yeah, be very excited for Malachi, Alistair to come back. Be excited for Phoenix. What's Penta doing already? Penta's playing around with Ludwig and Butch in triple threats with nothing on the line. They're just throwing 3 dudes in there. Penta, have the match that you've been having with both. Just go in there together. That's Andrade, man. And then a complete clown show ends hour number 1. All the tag teams in a brawl that nobody cared about. Go back and watch the reaction from the crowd. I would urge you guys to do that. I mean, you would think they spent 5 minutes on this. There's so many people out there because it's like all the tag team division, basically. So Hunter's like, man, if you all go out there and just brawl, right? It's a Hunter Helmsley brawl. If you just do that, man, the crowd's going to be just ignited, man, jumping up and down. Guys, more than half the crowd, if you go back and watch, right? The first few rows, there were some people standing, no doubt. But if you just look up most fans are just like sitting. There's even people just having conversations because this thing went on for 5 minutes. It was a circus. Like they didn't even know live what they were viewing, but they knew they just wanted it to end. They just stop. This was a circus sideshow of just a bunch of clowns. Just frolicking in the wind. It was that bad, man. It's lazy. It's lazy booking. Back in the day, the division seemed special because they made it feel such. Vincent Kennedy McMahon had champions and challengers, man. So it could be the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom versus Money Incorporated. And he would make sure there was a story and that you wanted to see that match at the pay-per-view. There was tag teams, guys, that we never really got to see them. I think maybe once or twice. And one of them was a botch. Thankfully, it wasn't on live TV. The top rope broke. So they had to take that match off of Superstars or wrestling. So we never even got to see that, I believe. Or they had to redo the match, something like that. But I'm talking about the Hart Foundation and the Rockers. In today's WWE, you see the same teams face each other 9,000 times, right? Vince would book the division so good back in the day that there was teams you didn't even get to see because they were all wrapped up in other feuds and badass matchups and storylines. That's just, it's what you got, man. It's wild to conceive that, right? I mean, you got the fantasy book, a lot of the tag teams. Now, I mean, they're just throwing everybody out there every week. Every single week, every tag team is involved together. They just thrust everybody in backstage segments or in the ring, and now they're just all brawling. This is going to eventually lead to just all the teams facing each other at WrestleMania because it's the easiest, laziest way for Hunter to book this because he's too busy getting his Hall of Fame speech ready or doing a behind-the-scenes documentary, everything that goes into pulling the curtain back and showing you all the tricks exposed on how we do this wrestling thing. Hunter is too busy doing promotionals and voiceovers. Oh, are you ready, France? You're getting another pay-per-view. Yes, that's where his time and energy and focus is. Anything other than actually giving us creativity. Yeah, pretty pissed off about what I saw in that tag team division, but I've been, and it's sad, because the Profits should be booked a lot better than this. They got the characters. I really feel like we should be and could be getting the best Street Profits right now, because they're really believing their own shit. I like it. But it's muddied waters, man. They're in there with every other tag team, and we don't even know where to look. It's just stop. Can we just get this segment over with? 100 people tried to get a let them fight chant when they finally broke it up. Nobody else added in. Because most of that, listen to yourself. Most of the crowd didn't want to do that chant because they wanted it to stop. Do not let them fight. Break it up. Break it up. That's probably what they wanted to chant. This was an absolute shitfest to end hour number 1. A tag team circus sideshow. That's exactly what I'm calling it. Hour number 2. McIntyre, Priest, Rollins, and Punk in a promo marathon. This is one of those things where everybody comes out there and they all just start talking about how they're going to win the chamber. Punk got the loudest pop. He was easily the best on the microphone. This should be simple, right? Punk wins. That is the marquee main event for Mania. Cody versus Punk. I know it's face versus face. I can't stand that. But they did a promo a month and a half ago, 2 months, whatever it was, and it was hot. Everybody liked it. They worked really well. You believed it. And there's no bigger match right now. John Cena and Cody makes no sense. I mean, if you're going to have Cena win his championship, it should have been over Gunther. That matches more Cena's style anyway. And Cody could have had a million other ways to go. But Cody Punk makes sense. And Punk got the loudest pop anyway last night. He's the best on the mic. He can carry the storylines better than anybody else. And you've already set it up. So Cody Punk, this should be pretty easy. But we're hearing that they're going to give it to Drew McIntyre. And I just don't, as much as I like Drew and I want to see the best possible booking for the dude, I really do, but I want to see it done correctly. And I know you guys, if you're being honest, because all you're going to hear if Drew wins tonight is he deserves it. And I'm so proud of him, just like Jey Uso. That's all we heard. But if you're being honest about how you feel about it, that's not a big WrestleMania match, dude. It's not. We didn't just go from Roman and Cody for 2 years to Drew and Cody. Not the way Drew's been booked. It's not big. It's as big as Jey Uso versus Gunther, and you know that is shitty. That is not WrestleMania main event. That's a Saturday night's main event, maybe. And we know that because it was. It's a house show match. But that's our Mania main event. And now Cody and Drew. I don't get it. But it would be better than Seth. Seth versus Cody for the 86th time. Stop it. So I guess Drew is better than Seth. But the best possible way to go here is Punk. That's obvious. It gets the best reaction. Their promo was the most talked about. If we're talking the grandest stage of them all, make it such. You can't call it the grandest stage of them all and put on a house show. Because that's what it looks like we're going to get for 2 straight nights. And let's be honest here, man. Punk lost the Rumble to Jason Uso. If he loses the Chamber tonight to Drew McIntyre or anybody, maybe it's pretty clear that Helmsley ain't putting this dude in a main event and still holds a deep grudge. Because I'm starting to think, like, this is the time. And he just seems to be overlooking CM Punk. We'll find out tonight if that is the case. I hope not. Just go with Punk. You already botched Cena. Cena should have been taking out Gunther and winning that championship. Everybody seems to think there's so much time for Cena. Oh, don't rush it, we're hearing. It doesn't have to happen at Mania. That Mania is January, February, March, 4 months into the year already. This is his final year. What do you want him winning it? In Saudi Arabia in September? Survivor, you want it SummerSlam? Is that what you want, SummerSlam, and then he holds it for 2 months and then gives it to a young buck? Not Nick or Matt, by the way, but some young up-and-comer. Why are we waiting to a secondary stage? This is the grandest stage of them all. It is the record for most championships. It should be at Mania. That's the problem. We are devaluing everything, including WrestleMania these days. And it's pathetic. And fans are helping to ruin it. We didn't get Rock and Roman because fans were crying literally that Cody needs to finish a story. We didn't get Cody the year before winning the championship when we know he should have. Then we wouldn't have been in the mess that we were in at 40. But at 39, fans were crying that Cody needs more struggle and adversity. So that ruined that matchup. Or at least the outcome. And now fans are crying that it's too early for Cena. Just every WrestleMania, fans come together to try to ruin the most obvious of special moments. Things that need to happen. I wish that same energy was into things like Charlie Flair. No, nothing. We moan, we bitch, we complain, but that's where it ends, right? Nobody's truly going, oh no. No. But if Roman and Rock are gonna face each other, they'll literally freaking cry. They'll shed tears over it. So it's one of those things, man. We'll find out what they do tonight. Punk and Cody is the only marquee matchup left. John Cena and Cody is so weird. If that's you should have just done Cena and Gunther. Where does Jey Uso even fit into this? Because he yeets and his merchandise is up 6%. John Cena will triple that on a bad day. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. You didn't even plant that seed. You had Punk out there with him. That was all the headlines. I'm gonna stop there. Punk calls Rollins. This is the best part of the night. I couldn't believe he roasted this day. He did him dirty, actually, dude. I mean, Seth is right in the ring looking at him, trying to be all serious, I guess, with that outfit on. And Punk calls Rollins a potholder or oven mitts. Take you seriously while you're in there looking like oven mitts. Something like that. I spit out coffee. It's not often I spit my coffee out almost over my notes. I almost had to start doing all my notes on the laptops. Because I like to go hand to paper on mine. I spit my coffee out. I couldn't believe he said it. Couldn't believe it. He called them oven mitts. And my team better have put a side-by-side. I really hope they did, because if you've seen a pair of oven mitts, I mean, it is. He was wearing oven mitt pants. And his top was something that we always joke about it, but I mean it. That was from Becky Lynch's closet. You guys know that, man. It barely went over his fucking tits. His fucking nips, right? I mean, it went like right here. His little halter top jacket. You know that's from Becky Lynch. And then he had some tailor-made pants. I don't know how you order them from the... what do you say? Like, yeah, I want pants that are oven mitts? Gonna look at you like you're wild, but he got his oven mitt pants. You know, back in the day, we used to call them parachute pants. I mean, that's on a whole nother level. What he was wearing, back in the day, they called them parachute pants because raving was big. You go to raves and you would take extracurricular activities. I'm going to leave it at that. But your pants would be so huge, they were called parachute pants. And you would rave, you know, lasers are going. Everyone's got parachute pants, so everyone looks like they're about to fucking take off into outer space. Who knows? I mean, this dude was intergalactic. Planetary Beastie Boy status last night. Intergalactic planetary. Beastie Boys, no? Nobody knows what the Beastie Boys are? Oh, whatever. So that was the line of the night. That was the best part of the night. And the fan behind Punk. Did you guys see the fan behind? That was hilarious. There was a fan behind Punk. At first, I went like, this dude is so annoying. I hope that CM Punk turns around and gives him a G. I almost called it a GPS. I almost said ease up on the coffee, BC. I almost said I hope he turned him around and gave him a GPS. Yes, here you go. Merry Christmas. Here's a GPS. I was hoping at first he was going to give him a GTS. There you go. Go to sleep. not let him find outside to play in traffic over this show. Here's a GPS of the nearest street and the nearest brick wall, kid. But I was wishing he would just give him hoping that he would give him a GTS because he was just so annoying trying to make all these faces at the camera. But after like 20 seconds, I was kind of like, dude, this dude's probably the best part of the night. I mean, he was loving being on camera with CM Punk. I wasn't spitting my coffee out, but I was kind of laughing at that. I'm like, this fan, I'll take him over green shirt guy any day. You know, the guy with the green shirt in the front row every show? Anyway. He did Seth so dirty, man. Called him Oven Mitts. Oven Mitts McGee. Logan Paul then comes out to John Cena's music. That was great. The crowd popped and then the crowd was pissed. If you want to get some heat, that's one way to do it. He come out. He's like, yeah, you can't see John, but you can see me. And I'm like, that was lame. That was good, though. Crowd was pissed. They had no creative finish for this, so they just had Punk chase off Logan, and then everyone stared at one another. That's it. Period. End of the notes. Punk chases lackluster, too, because Logan Paul still had more to say. But Punk had already started chasing him up the ramp. So Paul tried to spit it out, so Punk had to slow down. It looked awful. And then they all just stared at each other like, that's literally what they gave us creatively. That's it, guys. That's the segment. And the crowd isn't making a lot of noise. Oops. Hunter botched this one. That's probably what they're all thinking in that moment. The boss botched yet again. LA Knight defeated Santos Escobar via BFT pinfall to advance to this triple threat schmaz for the number one contendership for Shinsuke's U.S. Championship. Again, that is LA Knight defeating Santos Escobar. And then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens say more words to one another. That was it. I think Owens was like on the Tron and Sami was in the ring, and that's it. Guys, it's in one ear out the other. Like, it's not, when I say it's not fun for me, so I know there's many fans like BC where this is just done. I mean, it's literally not fun at all. And it's because we've seen this for more than 10 years starting in NXT. They have been in 17 different feuds. They've had about 95 matchups. Every type of feud, gimmick matches. You're not a good friend. You were like a brother, and then you betray. We've seen every type of story. I mean, in 2025, to try to rekindle something we've seen so many times. I mean, this is so boring. Guys, I literally put in my notes the most honest I can give you. They said words. That's all I put in my notes. I didn't hear anything they were truly saying. It was like, what do you call it? Peanuts? Or what is that called? Snoopy. What's the show called? Charlie Brown? Wah, 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 wah. That's all I was hearing. No. I'd almost rather put on Seth's sing-along. Almost. You guys know how annoying that is to BC. I might even, I was going to say I might yeet before I want to hear Sami and Kevin Owens trade words for another 5 minutes, but the yeeting, I'm done with that too. And then hour 2 ends with Melo defeating Braun Strowman via DQ to advance to this triple threat schmaz for Shinsuke's U.S. Championship, the number one contendership. So Melo defeated Braun Strowman, because that's believable. But they did the Eddie Guerrero finish where he throws a chair over to Braun and then drops to his back when the ref turns around. Because like Solo, the bootleg bloodline was attacking Braun Strowman on the outside. Strowman was able to fend them off, get back in the ring with a steel chair. And Melo picked it up, threw it over to Braun, dropped, referee turns around, Braun's holding the chair. We call it old school Eddie Guerrero. He made that really big. But Melo's not Guerrero, so it didn't have the same impact. But at least it's more of a believable way that you're going to beat Braun, because you ain't going to roll this dude up, and we're going to go, yeah, that's realistic. So Melo moves on to end hour number 2. Now, hour number 3, my girl Roxy started hour number 3. And when this match was over, my other gal, another one of my gals, Alexa Bliss, would be involved. And with directly my girl Roxy. We got to talk about it. So Roxy, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez defeated Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Bayley in a 6-woman tag match. Roxy would pin Bayley via Pop Rocks, and she got it. Oh, this was great. Bayley hunched over. Roxy catapults Warrior status into the ropes, hits Pop Rocks, one of the best Pop Rocks I've seen from Roxy. Big W for Roxy. Now you're saying, BC, it's a nonsensical 6-woman tag. Yes, but for her short reign on the main roster, to have not just a W, but to do it that definitively and to hit her moves so damn good, it just felt really big. Post-match, Alexa Bliss appears and hits Sister Abigail on Roxy, and she got all of it. If you thought Roxy hit Bayley with all of the Pop Rocks, then you got to see Alexa Bliss hit her version of Sister Abigail on Roxy, because she got it all. Forehead to the canvas. Roxy is probably still looking up at the lights. They're taking down the ring. Everything is already down. Roxy's still on the cement looking up. Alexa got it all. And I thought for a moment, Alexa, Roxy. Wall it out, pick the card. Charge double. I don't care. Alexa, Roxy, I'm there for it. I think that could be really good. I'm down with that way more than Bayley, Roxy for sure. I just don't like that connection. I don't think there's a symmetry there. I don't think there's a constant flow that would develop in a match like that for more than 10 minutes. Whereas Alexa and Roxy, if done correctly, I could watch that 25 and probably be like, let them go the full half. I just feel it's the styles, the creativity that they can do, the way they would work with one another. I could be totally wrong. Hopefully we will have the chance to find out, though. Alexa, Roxy. That was ignited last night if they want to do something special, not just in the chamber match tonight. Now, the triple threat schmaz to determine the number one contender for Shinsuke's U.S. Championship, that was up next. LA Knight would defeat Fatu and Melo. So you know what that means, right? We spent the entire show having 4 matches to come to the same match that was advertised for this week anyway, to begin with. LA Knight, Shinsuke. We spent the entire night going with the same match that was promoted all week. Shinsuke, LA Knight. Was that necessary just because you didn't want to get creative for the show and do all these other storylines with other individuals, which should have been happening? It's so stupid. I'm just going to leave it at that, man. I could elaborate. It's not even worth it. This is already going pretty long. We got the chamber tonight. I don't know when this is actually going to get out to you guys, so I'm just going to move on for time purposes. I could say a lot more about how stupid all of this was. LA Knight goes for the same title and same match that we already saw and he's already had in the recent past. I don't know what they're doing with Shinsuke. Every week he just kind of lingers backstage, creepily watching people from like way back while they're cutting promos, walking up to people awkwardly and bizarrely like Braun Breaker does on Raw. I mean, Hunter doesn't know what to do with his champions. Braun Breaker, Shinsuke Nakamura, Gunther. I mean, they just walk around and they show up in weird segments. It's almost like in Hunter Hearst Helmsley's WWE, if you get a championship, it is a detriment. It is an anchor. Instead of something that is going to propel you, it's going to set you back a few steps. Show ends with Michael Cole, middle of the ring, interviewing Cody Rhodes. Cole starts grilling the dude. Man, Cody goes to try to say a word. Cole's like, "You're deflecting, Cody. You're deflecting. Let me finish." So it was funny. Cole starts grilling the dude, and then a red Raptor pickup truck, I believe is what it was. It comes out, drives up to the top of the stage. The Rock appears on the Tron and cuts a 5-minute promo, knowing that Cody will do the right thing tonight at the Chamber. I thought it was actually well done. The live audience was chanting boring to end the show, so they did not think it was well done. If you're watching on TV, it came across pretty good. I didn't mind that finish. They're really hyping up Rock, Cody. It sucks that Rock, right after the Chamber, during the press conference, is just going to expose the whole segment like he always does anyway. So you're not even going to be able to suspend the disbelief, or as I call it, suspend belief. Really get into the storyline, because Rock is going to ruin it. But, you know, I thought it was well done watching on TV. The live crowd, they don't have Rock there live. They're just watching it as if they were watching. I mean, they're just watching the Tron. So I'm not shocked that they were chanting boring to end the show. They didn't like the segment, not live. So you never want to end any show, but especially a go-home show to a premium live event pay-per-view. You never want to end that show with a crowd chanting boring. But that's what happened. That didn't go over too well. Again, I didn't mind this finish. Maybe stick it in the middle of it and give something much more impactful for the live crowd as well. A big cliffhanger. So yeah, in that aspect, Hunter definitely botched it. And that's your go-home show. Talk is done. Elimination Chamber is tonight. You're going to get 5 announced matches that we know of, right? Men's chamber match, women's chamber match, Trish Stratus and Tiffany versus Candy LeRae and Nia Jax. What's the other one, man? There was another exhibition, right? Or is it a title match? What's the other match? The Rock and Cody segment. Man, what are the other matchups, guys? Damn, dude. Braun Breaker's not having a match, right? Nope. That'd be a championship. We would not have that on the pay-per-view. Shinsuke is not, right? Or was all this to do the Shinsuke match tomorrow night, maybe? Or tonight? What was another match? Was that it? Damn. Man, that's going to bug me. I don't have the other. There's definitely at least another match, guys. I don't know. The whole thing is revolving around these 2 chamber matches, obviously. But whatever it is, BC will have the full review for you guys. I don't know if it's going to be live. Subscribed and notified. You can't just be subscribed. Be notified as well. So that way, when I am live, you guys will know. But no matter what, you guys will get that review. There's a big chance that the channel members will get it for a while beforehand. So you definitely want to make sure you're a member if you want that amplified truth when the show is over or live, who knows. But definitely have that membership ready to rock. Have those gold cards out. That's it. I'm going to get more coffee, whoop today's ass, and then it's chamber time, man. Stay locked on the channel. We got you covered. The good, the bad, and the ugly, man. It is imminent. Let's hope that after tonight, it starts to feel like WrestleMania season. I don't know. Lock Hunter Hearst Helmsley in a bathroom for the night and somebody get a hold of creative and let's start to rock this. 44 dive, that's a wrap. BC saying check you. Salute.